Hey guys, my name is Corey, and I'm about to show you how air attacks are dominating at Town Hall 11 right now. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 different air attack strategies that are dominating Town Hall 11 right now. Number 1 on our list here, we've got Electron. Now, I haven't put these in order of like best to worst or anything like that. I'm just hooking you guys up with the 5 different strategies. That way you can figure out which one you're most comfortable with, which one you want to practice with and have the most success. But I am going to go over the strategy on each of those just to help you guys figure them out and what bases are going to be best to use those as well. You see on this one, he's got a Hound Loon in the CC, and he's trying to not get that Hound over to his queen so that it does not get popped. His king unfortunately did pull it out, so his minions might have to deal with it at some point, but his loons will not have to, and more importantly his E-Dragon will not have to at this point. Look at this, he's trying to get this blimp right in here on this Eagle Artillery, because right there he's got really close together buildings. He can get that chain value from that E-Drag, and the queen's close enough, he can get that eagle kill along with the queen kill at the same time. That's exactly what he's going for right here, and that's exactly what he's going to get. Look at this single archer out here. This is an OP move. That archer's only job in life is to draw that hound out of the way of the middle of the base. That way, none of his troops, his E-Dragon doesn't get held up on it. If it gets held up on a hound, it's not going to be getting any value. And then later on, the minions, when they're trying to clean up the base, you don't want them to get stuck on it either, because once they start hitting the hound, they're no longer cleaning up the base. So Clone Spell and the Rage Spell. Clone Spell got the loons on that. Those tend to rush out in front, get rid of those defenses, tank for that E-Dragon so he can get off some Chain Lightnings. In this case, able to at least get off one chain and get that queen kill. Now, he only brought 1 Clone Spell on this attack. You have the option of bringing 2 or even 3. But if you're going to bring 1 Clone Spell, that leaves you more spells for your Lalo at the end, but you can't expect to get quite as much from the Electron portion. After this, this leaves some pretty nice pathing left in the rest of this base. Nice skinny paths, so easy to focus those loons, easy to focus those hastes and those air defenses. Look at that air defense perfectly tanking that wizard tower right there. I wouldn't even use that freeze quite yet, because that hound was doing a good job taking those defenses right there. To probably save that freeze for this backside wizard tower where you do not have a hound any longer to help tank for it. But he still has a Grand Warden ability. Oh man. Yeah, look at this single loon coming over on the left-hand side here. That loon's job is to pull any red air bombs that are in the area of that wizard tower so that the red air bomb can't damage all of these loons. It's also tanking that wizard tower while the big group of loons were sneaking in on the backside, so they were barely damaged by that wizard tower because of that single loon tanking for them. He's also holding on to 1 loon towards the end of this attack. That way, in case any troll Teslas pop up in a corner, you have a loon for that, or they can help with cleanup. As soon as the last defense is down, they will just go to the next closest building, and they do a pretty good job of cleanup because they do a lot of damage. Next up, friends, we've got Dragbat, alright? You can't do an air video nowadays without Dragbat because it's strong. It's crazy. It's working on so many bases. It is firmly in the meta. Skyfall is going to show us a great example, but honestly, I had so many other examples I could have pulled from in this war. Had at least one from King, and I believe another one from Goldeneye as well. But yeah, lots of options because Dragbat is tripling a lot of bases right now. Sky's gonna do an excellent one right here. Sacrifice the queen down there for the funnel and that air defense right there. You get rid of that air defense, it can't pick off your dragons on the way in. GG. Also creates an excellent funnel. King did the funneling on the other side. Look at this nice path we've got in the base for the dragons. We had a base that was as wide as it possibly could be. Buildings all the way out to the far sides, and because of all that funneling, we've now got it down to half the size in there, maybe even less. Very manageable pathing for the dragons, and that's very important. And look at the sweepers here. The sweepers are not fully covering this area, and that's going to help. It's going to push the dragons around in here just a little bit, but it's not pushing all your dragons back. It's not pushing them directly back from the sweeper and from the core right there, so that helps. You do have to pay attention to those sweepers, and if you don't have enough spells to rage through it, it can really slow down your raid, and when you slow down your dragons, they tend to thin out and die. Look at this, we got an ice golem on the backside tanking that wizard tower, so she is able to get the rage down on that wizard tower, but does not need to freeze it. In here, she's got 2 freezes left for only 1 wizard tower, and honestly, didn't even need to freeze it, because that was a nearly full health dragon that the wizard tower was being tanked by. It wasn't going to die anytime soon, so that freeze wasn't needed. Freeze it anyways, just because she's got 2. She's going to be swagging that last freeze, though. It's a very powerful attack strategy, you guys. Very, very powerful. Path the dragons in. and then manage the splash damage on the backside. You can do a bat wave deployment where you drop them outside of the base and freeze defenses where you go, or the bat bomb style, the original Dragbat like we just saw there, where you're raging the bats at the start. Oftentimes you're starting them on a splash damage defense like a multi-target Inferno or a Wizard Tower, and you're dropping the rage, freeze, immediately followed by all that bats, so they can get those multi-target splash damage defenses down before that freeze spell wears off. Alright guys, very beautiful hit by Sky. Next up, guys, we've got the king of all attacks in Clash of Clans, the highly skilled Queen Charge LAVALOON. To be good at this attack, you need to master the Queen Charge, or at least be very proficient at it, and also be proficient at the Lalo portion. Two very difficult strategies in Clash of Clans, but when you bring them together, they're very powerful, alright? It takes a while to get good at these, yes, but it is well worth it because it's a very strong attack strategy, and Vince is one of the best in the game in Queen Charge LAVALOON. Look at him spotting this little dead space wall here to break up path things. Like, meh, I'm just gonna jump right over the top of it. Absolutely beautiful. And I love the awareness here. I would have worried about funneling these buildings, but Vince realizes the queen can reach the buildings from in there, and once she gets rid of them, her next closest structure is going to be that multi-target Inferno. That is some absolutely brilliant queen pathing right there. Now, as far as an air attack, I'll give it up to you. This is only half of an air attack because the Queen Charge is definitely a ground strategy, so it's getting the best of both worlds, getting that value from the charge. And of course, when you're doing a Queen Charge LAVALOON, you want to make sure you get the enemy queen and the enemy CC. And getting the eagle is a nice bonus too. You don't have to get the eagle. You can see he started his Lalo before the eagle is down, but his queen is going to be picking up that eagle eventually. All right. Lalo's coming in from the top. Another objective of that Queen Charge is to cut out a nice chunk of the base, leaving some nice pathing for your loons. And as you can see right here, he's got a fairly narrow path to send these loons on. That allows you to be very effective. You have lots of loons in one space. They're able to one-drop a lot of those defenses and move on, keep that momentum going. And it's also going to allow you to get really good value out of your spells when they're in a manageable size area right there. That was such a beautiful Grand Warden ability. Caught a huge group of loons right as they were getting ready to spread out into different areas, the base towards different defenses. That is a beautiful spot to use your Grand Warden ability, because when they're spreading out, you can't cover them all with a heal. You can't cover them all with a rage, haste, or both of those areas with freezes. So it's a perfect area to use Grand Warden ability right before your troops are getting ready to spread out a little bit into the base. Beautiful triple by Vince, but then again, all of Vince's triples are pretty beautiful. Excellent example of a Queen Charge LAVALOON. This next attack is an air attack that honestly, it gets requested a lot. And the reason I don't show it more probably is just because I'm not very good at E-Dragons personally, but some people are, and Joker is one of those guys. He is going to annihilate this base with E-Dragons. So you can say, oh man, it's not really about the air defenses like it is with dragons, because he's going to go like straight at 3 air defenses in there. His queen's going to pick up 1. Those E-Dragons are just going to go head to head with those other 3 air defenses inside the base. The key here is that those buildings are so close together that he's going to get big time value from those chain lightnings. And here we go. King is cutting in the other side of the funnel. One E-Drag was helping that funnel a little bit up the noon, because that was a little too much funneling for the King alone, since the enemy King is right there. So E-Dragon and the King, and there we go. The funnel is created. Main group of E-Dragons moving in with the Warden. He has not used his Stone Slammer yet, so we'll see where that comes down. But every time those E-Dragons get off a shot in there, they're going to chain so many of those defenses. Watch this base just disappear every time they get a chain off. Oh, he's going into sweepers right here too, but he brought plenty of freezes to keep those sweepers frozen, and that is absolutely key. The E-Dragons are so slow. The freezers will really mess with them, so if you can keep those sweepers, either stay behind them or keep them frozen like Joker is here, and it's not going to be an issue. Guys, this is a beautiful hit. Look how many E-Dragons he has left. They got so much chain value in the middle. He has so many E-Dragons still alive. This base is annihilated, you guys. There is no base left. There's just, oh my god, there's 1 Tesla now, and it's about done. So many E-Dragons left. Honestly, I can do some pretty decent things with E-Dragons. The thing that I struggle doing with E-Dragons is 3-starring a base inside of that 3-minute limit. They're so slow. If you don't plan it well, you don't plan ahead, maybe bring a little cleanup, I don't even know. You can time fail a lot. They are very slow. So very powerful, but very slow. So practice, learn how to manage that time, and you can find a lot of success with them on the right bases. And here we go. Next example is going to be Sui, Lalo, and Rupash here is going to have an amazing example. This is a beautiful attack, you guys. Check this out. First of all, heroes are going to be taking away that first layer, including that air defense right there. Taking away that air defense is pretty important because he wants to be able to path his Stone Slammer into the Eagle Artillery, and from there it should path to the next closest defense, which is that multi-target Inferno. Once that air defense is gone, that Stone Slammer can get all that value and more. You got to plan on having a Seeking Air Mine by that air defense right there, so the smart thing to do is lead a Loon in front of that Stone Slammer. Looks like he forgot that. This base might have already been hit, and he might have already known that. Especially since he sent his queen in right there to deal with the CC. He has to get a poison down for those witches. Witches are very dangerous if you do not have a poison. Now look at this baby dragon running down here, just chasing off to the side. Queen is not going to be able to kill that baby dragon, but look at what he's got inside this Stone Slammer when it pops. I watched this attack live, and I was worried. I'm like, oh man, he doesn't have anything to kill that baby dragon, until I saw what came out of a Stone Slammer. Now he's not using that to kill the queen. He's got a Freeze, Rage, and Scally spell down to kill the queen. Look at that queen kill right there. Pops that Grand Warden ability. Oh, this is such a beautiful Grand Warden ability on a Sui Lalo attack. He catches a large group of loons in it, yes, but he also catches the Skellies in it that are working on killing the queen. And he actually ended up having like a baby dragon and or a dragon inside of his Stone Slammer as well, and that baby dragon was, at the very least, maybe even another big dragon as well, was able to take on that enemy baby dragon and take it down. I was so happy when I saw that pop out of there. Such a creative attack, and you'll notice he's holding on to his last couple spells. He knows that the last big danger on this base is this multi-target Inferno, so he waits until that other group of balloons created pathing. Now he's going to be using his haste and his freeze to get that multi taken out. Once he takes that out, the rest of these defenses are not an issue. They're just point defense. He's got enough loons left to get through them. Boom, base is tripled. So there you guys have it. 5 beautiful examples of air attacks really dominating at Town Hall 11 right now, especially with the resurgence of Dragbat. We're seeing air attacks being very strong, very prominent at Town Hall 11. There you go. There's 5 ones to try. It's a basic knowledge on each one. Have fun. If you have any messages, questions for me, hop on my Discord server. And friends, I'll see you in the next video.